Namaste, my name is Sandeep. I'm the chef at Mesa Lodi Colony Market, New Delhi, and this is how I build and unwind. When I told my family that I wanted to be a chef, my one side of them, my mother was actually quite supportive. My father wasn't, because for someone with our background, somebody wanting to join the service industry in India was a big no-no. I decided to turn entrepreneur at a very young age. I think this is my 10th year of being an entrepreneur. So it's always been an uphill struggle, because not only am I trying to sell my food, I'm also trying to sell my principles about those food. I could do a lot of things, but I don't, because I have a set of principles which I want to follow. Uh, it's very easy to run a food driven business in this country, but to make money is difficult because of the disparity in whatever with the income and people's preferences and so on. Everybody knows about this. Our challenge is to find a middle ground where we're selling something unique, but we're able to make money of it as well. We're catering to a global audience, so that means we have to be very aware, and we have to be aware that our guests are more aware than we are. So we really can't bullshit anybody. It has to be as genuine as possible. Our brand basically tries to pair food with various types of wines. We are the only standalone restaurant in the country which has a machine which is called an enomatic. It allows us to sell wines by the glass. So the food which I design is made to go well with this wine. So we're actually a wine restaurant which sells food. So our flavors are very nuanced and balanced. We're not overly spicy or bland or whatever. My approach is very scientific. I don't believe in cuisine, although I have been trained in many cuisines. An ideal chef is actually a person with a lot of discipline. I try to incorporate a lot of technique into my food. My ingredients have to shine because I respect food from a very molecular level. Food has to go with wines. That's what our brand is. So we cannot mask it with too many flavors or masalas or spices or whatever. So the integrity of each ingredient has to be shown through our food. So our challenge has basically been to be original and to be honest with who we are, at the same time trying to appease a very progressive yet old fashioned audience. I really hope that when people eat my food, they feel that they've eaten something unique. That's my first intention. Secondly, I hope that they eat something that will make them remember why they ate it. So let's say if they've come to our restaurant and they're celebrating an occasion, I want them to remember the fact that they came and they sat here, so that they associate a memory with what they ate. Health to me is a big deal. I believe that wellness and health go a long way. I try my best to keep my food as healthy as possible. That doesn't mean it's healthy food. It just means it's genuine, where I use techniques such as sous vide and air frying. I don't like to deep fry ingredients. That's one thing which I staunchly stand against. And I intend to create an experience for my patrons which enables them to keep coming over and over again. I love doing what I do. If you ask the people around me, they'll tell me that they are the ones who have to tell me to take a holiday. Sometimes I'm forced into it because I love doing what I do so much. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, and if you would have told me that I'd be doing this now, I wouldn't have worked hard to reach where I am now. I'm very grateful for where I am, because each day for me is a new experience. I really enjoy what I do. Our restaurant is child friendly. I'll tell you why. It's because I remember when I was a child, my parents used to take me to fancy restaurants, and that's where I developed these fancy tastes, and I was exposed to a lot of things. So I think children now also, since they're so much more aware than I was back then, they should also get similar exposure. So I once met a child, maybe 6 or 7 years old, who ordered lamb chops, and he really liked it. And he took a photo with me saying, I wanted to be like him when I grow up. Uh, I never thought that would be possible. I never thought it would be an inspiration for someone else. But seeing that my journey has enabled someone younger than me to want to do the same thing is a really good thing for us and for our profession. And I hope good people from good families get into this. And I hope we as young entrepreneurs leave a legacy behind for them as well and leave something there. I think food is something very universal. It's like music. You can find inspiration in many things. I once saw Nest and I got inspiration for a dish I serve in my menu. So it's there. Nature is a big inspiration for me. When I try to create dishes and when I try to create plates, I try to make them look as natural as possible. So if I'm plating seafood, I'll make sure the plate is blue. If I'm doing vegetables, I'll try to make it look like a flower pot or a jungle or a forest. So I guess there's inspiration found everywhere. I don't like to limit myself to just one thing. If you look closely, you'll find inspiration in everything. I have been studying a lot about native ingredients in India, for example, ancient grains, and also ingredients which are lost to time, like khapli ka atta, like val, which is called butter bean in English, certain types of fruits, certain types of berries. I believe in trying to be as native as possible. For example, using ingredients found in India. But obviously, we're a European restaurant, so we can't do that. But what I try to do is find a balance where, let's say, I'm using an imported ingredient, but I'm pairing it with something Indian. I think that's what great chefs do anyway in our country. So I'm just adding to it. So I make it a point to travel to various parts of the country and try out different ingredients, which I bring back to my restaurant. Our work is always tough. It never gets easy. If there's too much work, it's tough. If there's no work, that's tougher. I guess there should be some drive inside where there should be a strength that puts you out of bed every day and brings you here. I guess for me, it's just the fact that I'm living my dream. Uh, I really enjoy what I do. That's it. I don't try to compete with anybody. I try to respect what other people are doing. uh, I don't I don't feel any negative feelings when somebody is doing better or achieve something which I can't. For me, I started very small and I'm growing still. I haven't reached where I want to reach yet, and I'm just trying to enjoy the journey. For me, there's no destination. The way I plate my food is very quirky. My cooking style is very ingredient driven, and it's very finished, where I use a lot of technique. So I spend about 14 to 15 hours a day over here. When I go home, I'm greeted by four really cute dogs. So they're like my stress busters. They take away all my negative energy. I like to read. I like to listen to music. I like to do something called breath work. I do yoga, so breath work is a part of yoga. But yes, mostly everything I do has something to do with the work I do. So I guess it's all related. I never stop working. It's an ongoing process, except when I sleep, which is actually what I like to do the most. For anybody who leads a high pressure life, meditation is actually a cheat code. Because if you can maintain your thought process and your breath, it really helps in high pressure situations. I think it's very important to constantly teach yourself new skills. So as an entrepreneur, I've taught myself stuff like personal branding, basic layman marketing, digital marketing, which saves me a lot of money, copywriting. Please learn how to write, and of course many other things. I think it's an ongoing process. My passions never end. I like something, I read it, I get obsessed with it, then I move on to another thing. But yeah, my cooking and food is my first priority, so everything I do revolves around that. I really like Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain. I read it at a very young age. I think just before wanted to become a chef, I started watching his shows. So this book is really dear to me because it reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing and what I can become if I am passionate about what I can continuously do, and if I try to keep improving upon what I do. I think it's very important for people who want to be in this profession to understand that it's not a glamorous profession at all. It's boring, it's tough, and it's very like demanding. You need to give a lot of time and energy to it. So if you want to do what you want to do, just be obsessed with it, and really you really have to love what you're doing. So there are books by Marco Pierre White, Kitchen Confidential, as I said, um, Devil in the Kitchen, also by Marco Pierre White. I think these books, they shine light on what life actually is, as opposed to what you watch on TV or the chefs you follow on Instagram, because that's not true. I am possibly the most obsessive person I know. I try to do the same thing every day, to the point of eating the same thing every day as well. I am very routine oriented, so I do the same thing at the same times every day. If my routine gets if it, like something happens to it, then I get angry or I get upset or whatever. So I try to make my life move like clockwork. My rituals are very simple. I sleep early, uh, wake up early, and I try to make every second count. So I try to do things which will help me grow as opposed to just doing things for the sake of doing things. So honestly, I do it to maintain my health. Right now, I'm not as young as I used to be. Uh, and I realize that because my body is deteriorating every day. I've also got into fitness. So I've got a gym inside my room. I do yoga. I have a yoga doctor who gives me a diet based on my body type. So there are a lot of things which I shouldn't eat only because it'll either make me lethargic, or it may cause me some harm, it may cause me to be slow. So whatever. So whatever I'm doing, I'm treating myself like an athlete now. I really like bhel puri. Yes, I've been eating that from a very young age. Even now, when I want to snack, I think bhel puri is the only thing I like to eat. I think work-life balance is important. I believe that a person is genuinely enjoying what they do. They merge both things where life just becomes work and it's fun and there's balance everywhere. Like in my case, I meet my friends at my restaurant while I'm working. So for me, I've been able to find balance. I think having fun and enjoying is very important. If you're not enjoying what you do and if you're not having fun, then you will not do it as well as you can do it, and your results will not be as well as you want it to be. Also, it's very important to prioritize having a good time, because then you're in a state of flow. Unwinding is very important because every now and then you need to realize why you're doing it, and you need to realize that you're just part of a process, and you're part of something that's always in motion. And mostly, when you unwind, it should not be about you, it should be about something bigger than you.